In this video, I want to break down for you guys how I was able to beat all Gear Raid 19s and progress a ton in just 30 days, free to play, epics only, and then free permanent legendaries. I'm very excited to share, and I'm going to focus on 4 key things. This will be towards the end of the video with my concluding thoughts that hopefully can help a lot of you guys in your progress anywhere in the game you may be right now. Essentially, it came down to luck. That is undeniable. You have to get the right heroes, especially if you're trying to do things quickly. Then there is situation, which I'm going to explain, but it's a lot about how you can find time and then how you can manage that time. Then there was strategy, so what you do over a long period of time. And then there was gameplay, actually getting into specific levels and beating it. Also, guys, we are doing a giveaway. So big shout out to Moonton for partnering with us on this. To celebrate the conclusion of the first month of the Epic Challenge, we are giving away 20 prizes of 100 diamonds. I know 100 diamonds isn't much, but 20 giveaways is a lot. So you have a pretty decent chance to win. More on that at the end of this video. I really hope this helps some people. Maybe it's interesting to others. Let's get going.
Fastidious.
Fastidious.
How the heck are you, everybody? I am Fastidious. If we go to the daily sign-in here on my Wreck It with Epics account, my free-to-play account from the Epic Challenge, it is day 31. It turned over into day 31. I'm mentioning that to tell you that means this initial competition, this first month, has concluded. This first 30-day competition. How did I do? And quickly, in case anyone doesn't know what this Epic Challenge I am talking about is, it was a challenge I organized, run through my website, fastidious.gg, where me and actually 176 other competitors competed to see how far we could progress in the game within 30 days using only epics and then the free, permanently accessible legendary heroes. So that being one copy, not through pulls, of Abomination through Fusion, Micah through the Fusion, Volca from the Volca quests, and then theoretically in it, but that was literally impossible within 30 days. So that was the challenge. I streamed a bunch. A lot of people streamed a bunch. It was a lot of fun. Let's get back to it. Well, crazy enough, and it is pretty crazy to me at least, I won. So here's Wreck It with Epics. You will see, and I actually ended up getting first place. It's quite awkward, let's be honest. I put a huge amount of work into organizing this thing. I had a team helping me. Shout out to Archer, shout out to Seamus, shout out to everybody, shout out to Pink Jesus. It was a big undertaking, right? And I won it. So that is awkward, right? Like my girlfriend was saying that she hoped I didn't win it. My goal never was to win. I mean, I wanted to try my hardest to win. My goal was to put up a good, respectable performance to kind of show, hey, I really know my stuff, and also to perform well because there's some competitive streak in me. I think less competitive than others, but I didn't expect to win, quite frankly. But I want to just zoom out from me because it's not really about me. I'm gonna have a whole stream dedicated to these guys. I've already set up a group chat, but actually it wasn't just me. 4 other people beat all the 19. So actually the top 5 here, we all tied, which is really cool. If you go back to the rules, the tiebreaker was always going to be the highest level you could beat in Guild Boss, and then if we were all the same, and obviously we were all Nightmare 4, after that, we have the highest score you could get in that Guild Boss. And this is something I was always confident in. And to be fair, and not too immodest, this is something I was always very confident in. I think I'm really good at Guild Boss 1. I've spent a lot of the best year of my life doing it in lots of takeovers. And on top of that, I thought I developed a really nice team. So I did win off of the tiebreaker, but really huge shout out to the top 5. And I'm going to be featuring all 4 of these guys because the big prize was going to be getting the winning account featured on my channel. And then also a big donation to the charity of the choosing of the winner. I will say as the winner, I am going to select that charity. We are going to be donating to the Lung Cancer Research Foundation. So if you want to donate, be sure to hit up that stream or just hit me up on Discord for details. Hopefully we can raise a lot of money. But that initial prize I described, getting interviewed and having your account featured on my channel, I can't do that to myself. I mean, this is awkward enough as it is. So what I'm going to do in this video is just give you a nice little recap. But in that big stream later this week, I will have Andrew, Danny, Hontukes, and Bingo on, and we will highlight the coolest things about all their accounts because they obviously all did amazing. And while I'm praising things and praising people, I may as well say so many people did so well. If you go all the way down here, I mean, we had something, I think it's the ends at red. Yeah, and Una Luz didn't get Gear Raid 3, but at red here, out of the top 26, 25 of the accounts actually beat all Gear 8 teams. And most of these accounts are 100% free to play. Obviously, free to play, permanent legendaries, and epics only. So it's very impressive. So no excuses, people. It can be done, and it's not just a random content creator here or there. It's tons and tons of people were able to do it. Very impressive by the community. I'll even say, ooh, it's another one. Odd One Gaming did it too, so that's 26 out of 28. And then I'll say Aeon here. I know he beat 218 last night. He didn't update it in time, but he did send a message on Discord. So really incredible performance by so many people. It really rubs me the right way. This was really awesome. Let me recap my performance now and tell you how I did. And I really want to highlight the things that led to me winning, not to brag in any way, but just to break down kind of what it took. So basically, I think I was in a very good situation, which I will discuss at length. I got a decent amount of luck. There's no doubt about that. I think I had some really good strategies, not just for beating specific levels, but for this whole 30-month period in terms of pacing myself, stockpiling resources, picking my moments. I do think I did a good job there. And then finally, I think really good gameplay. I think my Guild Boss run was really nice in the end. I think the way I finessed Gear Raid 219 was really cool, the way I pulled that off to make my comeback on the very last night. There were a lot of nice moments. So I'll kind of highlight things through that lens, but very quickly, let's set a baseline. How did I actually do? Let's go to the best records now. You can see I put up over 9,000 blood on Nightmare 4 last night. That had me extremely excited, and that was such a special moment of this competition, and I had a lot of viewers express the same in chat. Let me know if you felt the same way, if you participated in the comments. Getting excited about things that you just take beyond for granted all the time in your normal account now. Getting excited about like pulling a Soleil, you know, or pulling an Avalon, or these little things, right? Like that you can't get excited about if you've been playing for a long time, because you just grow out of that. The game pushes you towards, you know, the most meta, the strongest, this, that, and the other, and then you start putting up such high scores. Getting excited about 9,000 blood in Nightmare 4, I can get over 70,000 in my sleep on my main account if I manual it, right? But here, getting less than 1/7 of that, it was awesome. Trying to break that second shield, get that 9,000 barrier, finesse some things. This was really cool. Continuing on, I was really proud as well of my Guild Boss 2. I put up 2973, but actually with my second team, I put up an additional, I believe it was like 1,010. So I just under 4,000 mech fragments for Apocalypse 1. Obviously, I didn't even dream of touching Apocalypse 2, but that got us the second chest, the 3,500 mech fragment chest, and decidedly the top score in Guild Boss 2 as well. So I always knew I had really good boss damage. I think I had pretty good strats, and I certainly had well-developed heroes. For the gear raids and artifact material raid, I maxed out artifact material raid. This was largely on the back of, thank God I had Estrid. Let's be honest, I'll talk about her a lot in this video. And then I did get 19 on all three gear raids, 119, 219, and 319. There's a caveat here. I didn't 3-star 219. Fortunately, I didn't need to, so no farming there for the time being. Fortunately, I won't have to wait that long, because in just like 4 or 5 days, I'm getting A1 Volca from Tide, and that obviously with A1 Volca, it will become a total breeze. I'm actually curious to see how long it will take me to get 221. Nice little aside here, I will tell you, I will be continuing the account. I'll have more at the end of this video, so please try to make it to the end of this video, in which I will discuss plans for how maybe we can continue this series, not just for me, but maybe a second month of the competition. I have some things in mind. All right, let's head to our heroes now. This is kind of crazy. We made not one, not two, 15 6-stars. In 30 days, I made 15 6-stars. And again, this was part of just a grander strategy where I was very much valuing and putting an emphasis on getting 6-star heroes, because the epics have far lower base stats, so you want those as high as they possibly can be. Otherwise, you will kind of be dead in the water, especially as you try to push harder and harder content. So those 15 heroes were, well, we had 2 legendaries. They were the 2 free-to-play legendaries I was able to get. I never pulled a Vortex. I never fused or pulled Komodo, so I could not get Abomination, but we were able to get Micah. There was a touch of strategy here. Early on, we had a Tazira banner, so I was able to get Tazira that way. And then we did get a banner with Amani, so I got a ton of Amani that way. And then there was luck involved that I had to pull a Dallin and an Avalon, but it's a lot easier to hunt for 2 epics than for 4. We were able to fuse Micah. She was incredible. She was our top DPS in Guild Boss 1, barely beating out my A5 Wrath, but she was huge. It's undeniable she helped me win this competition. Didn't really help me anywhere outside of the guild bosses, but she was great in Guild Boss 1 and Guild Boss 2, and I would presume moving forward she will continue to help me a lot. Then we got Volca, obviously, as soon as possible, right at the start of Game Day 19, when we could beat Tide 55. Pretty huge. Not having A1 Volca, she didn't completely change everything, but for things like Artifact Material Raid, she was absolutely key. She was also quite strong in Gear Raid 119 for us, but she didn't make as enormous a difference as I had thought, but it's undeniable there was no winning of this competition without her. Idril, I was sitting on Soulstones forever. I was always debating if I should A5 her, and I never did. So we actually never put any Soulstones into Idril. I pulled an initial base copy as my starter hero. I then pulled her once during her banner, and I've pulled her twice off banners. That was enough to give her A3. I will say Idril's A3 turned out to be really strong. It's I shouldn't say really, but it was significant. A 5% rage boost globally across the whole map for all allies the second you triggered her ultimate. This helped with some of my timings. It was pretty cool. Wrath, we pulled a copy of Wrath, and we obviously got a free copy of Wrath on day 14, so I only had to put only 4 Soulstones into him. I did not fully Soulstone him until yesterday, which I did for beating 219. I kind of needed that to have him solo that initial left lane for anyone that watched it. Ideally, I will release individual stream highlight videos of all the key moments throughout this month. Don't hold me to it, but it is definitely something I'm planning on doing. And that's actually a nice little moment. When it came to Soulstones, I delayed them as long as possible. There are very few exceptions when I did early Soulstones, and I will take you through them as we see. But for a lot of heroes like Estrid, those last 2 Soulstones, I only did 16 hours ago, right at the end, right before Guild Boss. We beat everything, and it was all about Guild Boss, and I knew that would maximize our score. Same with A1 Vladov, right? So let's continue. So Idril, that was very lucky that we pulled 4 of her. We never got that A5, but it's still quite strong. Wrath, pretty cool stuff, really strong. I pulled 3 Raiden. I didn't put a single Soulstone into Raiden. That's crazy. And at a lot of times, my account kind of felt, and I feel like a lot of people feel this a lot, it's like there's some great heroes I can't stop pulling, but then there's some normal, common great heroes that I can't find for the life of me. I never got Vortex. I never got Baron. Obviously, I never got Laurel. There's these main I never got Maul, who's a completely common hero. These heroes that would have been game-changing I could never get, and yet I kept pulling the rarest epic lord I could. Raiden, 3 times I got him, including a final Raiden I pulled yesterday, which was pretty cool because it gave me this 5% attack. I will say 5% based off of a base of 3,300, not even 3,300 attack. We're talking just over 160 additional attack, but it definitely made a difference. It was nice. It didn't hurt, that's for sure. I was very lucky to pull Vladov from a single Ancient. I think in total I pulled about 20 Ancients, and Vladov was the one epic I got. And I was very lucky that I got the one Ancient exclusive epic lord. Very cool. I didn't use him anywhere, nowhere at all, except for Guild Boss 1 at the end, and he certainly helped us. I could have used Komodo. I'm not going to say I wouldn't have been able to get a very high score without him, but I would not have been able to get the 9,300, and he allowed me to break away. If I pull it up again, I believe second place was Bingo, and you will see, let me put this on display capture. Bingo put up 6681. I'm really confident. The second I broke that second shield, I was always already over 7,000 blood. So I do think we could have gotten in that 7,000 to 8,000 range, but I don't think I could have gotten a score as strong as this without Vladov. So that was a pretty big pull in helping push me over the edge and secure the win that I didn't know I was headed towards. Crazy thing with Hollow, I did maybe 2 weeks after getting her, so maybe 3 weeks into the competition, I did put 1 Soulstone into her to get A1, which is her strongest awakening, in my opinion. 1% rage to any hero whenever they are healed by her. That was very good. And then the past 3 days, I pulled an A2 and then A3 Hollow. So again, another example of an amazing hero that I kept pulling and didn't need to keep pulling. I would have loved, instead of pulling an extra 2 Hollow, right? I'd love to have pulled a Maul or pulled a Baron. If we pulled Baron, I would have saved so many hours of my life yesterday on 219, and I would have, not instantly, but within an hour or two, I would have had it 3-star, and I would have been out of there. So that was frustrating. I never pulled Navros. I had to fuse him, but he was really strong. He was not as strong as I had hoped, but that's because I never had Awakenings, but he definitely was a key DPS, off DPS, kind of secondary, tertiary option in a lot of content we did. I will say Raiden blew me away, especially once I got skill ups into him. Raiden blew me away in how strong he was for AoE, especially for someone who didn't have Iona. I didn't get Greed until day 28 login rewards. Dolores, I was very lucky to pull her. I think I'd be curious who got the highest placement out of everybody without Dolores. because she's pretty key to a ton of stuff, right? She's really exceptionally strong. I was really lucky also to have pulled a second copy of her fairly early on, like in the first 2 or 3 weeks, definitely within the first 3 weeks. So I saved a Soul Stone because obviously I would have Soul Stoned her to A1. Super strong. I put all 3 of these Awakenings into Estrid were Soul Stones. I can't believe I pulled her. There's no way I would have won without her. I could have won without her if I had other heroes instead, like if I had gotten a Laurel or maybe a Maul or something. But with the heroes I had, the key piece to everything I did, the one hero I try to think, could have I done this without that hero? It's Estrid. Like without having said, okay, I don't have her, but I got others. If I kept all my other heroes the same and I just took one out, who would hurt my account the most? It's Estrid. Maybe Idril for the initial push, but definitely as I tried to get competitive the past week, Estrid was, I cannot overstate how important she was. Eliza we got from the fusion. Then we got Brienne, and I was able to just pull her A1 a couple days ago. Her A1's super strong, getting 30% penetrating damage during her ultimate, but didn't help us too much because we kind of had stopped using her by then, but she was very good as we progressed. Breed I got for free as our day 28 login reward. I was very excited, very hopeful, and I will say I was disappointed. It's my fault. At that point, I think I was sitting on 5 Soul Stones, and I could have Soul Stoned him. A0 Greed, not that good. He was like my 4th DPS. The crowd control was very, very RNG, very unreliable, but he still helped in my 119 run, so it was nice to have him. His Nightmare dual faction membership was very, very key. Then I'll say Drogo, aka the Dro Goat. Unbelievably strong for clearing an AoE side as you progress through Gear 8-3, and then we 6-starred him, obviously. I didn't 6-star him until 319, but then I did 6-star him for 319, and he takes care of the left side. Took quite a bunch of gear on him, but we made it happen, and I will have a whole section of this video going through gear. Very cool stuff. Olog, obviously we got for free when we beat the normal Void Rift. He was very, very good. By far our best tank, especially since I was lucky enough to have Isolde as his Lord. This was always an excellent pairing. And then you'll see, that's it. Those are our 15 6-stars, 13 epics, and then our 2 legendaries. If I was to had made one again at the end, one more 6-star, it probably would have been Isolde. After that might have been Ein or Aatrox. But you can see we did pretty well, and there were some key heroes here like Isolde, like Ein, really Isolde and Midon, and then Ein. Key heroes that I just kept at 5 stars, and we made it work. Those are the heroes. Let's talk about gear. Alrighty, folks, now for gear, which I think is the thing probably a lot of people are most interested in hearing about, interested in seeing. So I think I've got pretty good gear for 30 days in. I'll tell you, from about day 20 to 26, like 6 or 7 straight days, all I did was farm Gear Aid 319. Once I beat it, I think there was a couple events wrapping up, so I did that stuff for like a day or two, focus my energy. But then literally all I did was 319 because I just wanted to maximize. That was my only 19 at that point. Right side gear is going to give you a better boost. I had a couple okay enough left side pieces that I could get set sorted, and I just went all in. And I think this is a good teachable moment in terms of like strategy. If we're getting to one of those points I mentioned at the beginning, not just for this challenge, but just for your account. This is a gacha game. This is a hero collector. This is a hero builder. It is all about farming and grinding. It wasn't fun. I didn't do anything besides Guild Boss and click replay, autoplay, just manually clicking nonstop on the side on my phone for days. Yeah, obviously there were breaks when I wasn't doing it, but I'm saying when it came to me playing the game, if I was playing the game, that's all I was doing. And there wasn't anything more to it. And it led to some pretty good gears. So I have my Guild Boss team here. They're all in the gear I use. If I see any other random nice pieces lying around, I'll let you know. But basically I had just enough gear to gear this team. Let's just go down the line and let me show you what everyone was wearing. You can get a sense of kind of the best gear on the account. So Wrath was our number 2 DPS in Guild Boss. And you will see I actually got a full set on him. And our number 1 DPS was Micah. They were right neck and neck. Off by like a million. She's also in a full set. She's in a premium set or a tier 2 set. She's an Infernal Roar. Had to use a crit rate bangle, but still, it's fairly respectable. You can see we got him to 58,809k BP. Artifacts were brutal for me. I did not beat artifact material rate until like day 29, and then overnight, and then the whole day manual clicking when I woke up until I streamed in the afternoon on day 30. All I did, or maybe it's 28 to 29, all I did was farm artifact material raid. I'm not exaggerating, 8,400 stamina worth. I did 71 summons in the Mythic Forge, and I got basically nothing useful. One of the only kind of useful things was a dupe Scarlet Hunt, so you'll see that on Wrath, and this is the build we got. So nothing so mind-blowing, but like here's a really fun piece, right? There's no crit damage on it. and it's not even ancient, right? But you can get this gear if you just grind your little butt off. So we got attack bonus main with a nice purple attack speed roll. I'm not gonna break down every piece in this detail. I just really want to prove my point. Nice fly attack and some crit rate. You keep going. Nice attack speed ancient. I have 3 ancients on my account that had attack bonus as a sub and rolled 10% or less for the attack bonus roll, which if you don't know is always the most important roll in this game, or 99% of the time for your DPS if they're based on attack. So nice to get that. It's obviously not fun to run attack speed amulets. I know people complain about that all the time, but especially as you're progressing, don't be afraid to do it. Especially we had a nice crit rate roll, crit damage roll, and it completed the set. The 10% attack bonus is disgusting to look at, but that's life. We got another piece here. This is probably the second best piece on the entire account for right side gear. This one was brilliant. This is what I would call perfect substats. You know, you got your attack bonus, your attack speed, your crit rate on a crit damage main, and then as a bonus, you got rage regen. The low roll was on crit rate, which for me is fine, especially on a hero like Wrath, who has 15% baked in over here. So you're kind of cooking. This is a brilliant piece. And then over here, this is one of our 2 like really nice crit rate, crit damage, attack bonus weapons. We've got 2 of them. One of them was the scripted variant you'll see over here. I believe this was a scripted drop from my first clear of 119. And again, 8% on attack bonus, but it still was super worthwhile because it's, you know, an attack bonus set and big roll on crit damage, nice crit rate. Finally, this is a piece I got fairly early on and just used forever. I never even 16'd it, but crit rate, attack bonus, flat attack. So we're going deep on Wrath. I'll just click through everyone pretty quickly. But that kind of gives you a sense of some of the better gear. I guess the other one, if we want to go deep, is going to be Micah. She's got this crazy variant. This is probably the single best piece on my account, or second best piece. You'll see there's one other one, but considering the set too, this I got as like you get a scripted variant drop on, maybe it's when you beat, somewhere in the gear dungeons. And we got attack bonus. Again, it's always the low one. Then crit rate, crit damage, and then look at this. I don't even know the variant effects. I only have 1 variant piece on my entire main account. I never forge. 2% crit damage, 2% crit rate. It's not much, but I mean, it's kind of fun. And this piece over here, you can see it's not perfect, but we found crit rate in another way with the bangle in a second. Big attack bonus roll, big crit damage. And guys, this stuff is quite literally 100% free to play attainable. Obviously, you have to get lucky to get the right pieces of gear, but I had a lot of bad luck, as you're going to see too, getting ancients with these terrible low attack bonus rolls. If you grind enough, if you do thousands of runs like I did in Gear 8.3, you start getting stuff, right? If you do all 200 of your gear dungeon runs, you'll probably get something. You know, you get your one scripted one. This was very lucky that it was nice. You'll see here's a crit rate bangle, which I don't like using crit rate, but for progressing, it had the right substats and it let us do an Infernal Roar set. Here you can see attack bonus, flat attack, crit damage, no crit rate because we got it from the bangle. And then this piece is really good, one of the better pieces on the account. Kind of hilarious, not a single purple roll on an ancient, but kind of perfect substats for a DPS. We got the flat attack along with the other big 3 on a crit damage bangle. And then you'll see we have a Spirit Siphon plus 10. We were able to pull 2 Spirit Siphons. The other one right now should be, yes, at plus 5 on Idril. All right, let's go really quickly now. I'll just give you a sense of the gear. Here's the best piece on the account, in my opinion, or at least the juiciest. The set's not great, but this was so exciting, and this was like my 3rd ancient, so this was a very lucky thing that happened. Crit damage with a monster 27% attack bonus. Everything went purple. That's pretty fun. Here's just some other non-ancient stuff that rolled well. Here's another pretty good ancient for Soulbound Arcana. I could not get a good set together. I can build a set, but it's not good enough to justify using. And you'll see the left side gear, I did what I could do. There's some nice crit rate rolls I'll have in some pieces, but this is all just stuff that happens when I stopped summoning at like 700 summons. I was lucky that I could kind of stop then. Every diamond, if I got over 150 diamonds, I would just buy a stamina pot and stash it till I needed it. There's Eye of Sin. We'll talk about that at the very end for strategy. Let's pick up the pace a little bit. Let's just click through everybody. Here's Volca. You'll see some good gear here. Here's a nice ancient. Here's a completely depressing ancient. Here's our next one, 8.5% attack on that. But you know, another nice crit rate roll, and then that's kind of it. Pretty nice flat attack with some other stuff. It's cool. Let's keep cooking. For Artifact, you can see maxed out of Keen Wisdom. We also should have a maxed out Keen Wisdom on Dolores. I made it a priority for Dolores to give her a Glacier set, since there was no way I was getting a good Invig set. I can barely run 219, let alone farm it. I can't even do it on auto. You'll see attack bonus, no flat attack. This is nice, a flat attack bonus with a decent bit of flat attack and a nice HP bonus, which will help the Glacier set boost. Then we got attack bonus with flat HP. We got a flat attack and attack bonus. Then we've got attack bonus. You get the picture. So just like a pretty nice starter Dolores build. And I will say, again, I'm going to go really fast after this, but Dolores is someone a lot of people will have or eventually get. 11.3k, plenty for progression, especially considering it's a Glacier set. We're getting 6% of the HP converted to attack as well. So let's just say this was 20,000, right? That's another 1,200 attack. So she's way up over 12K. That's really nice, like 12 and a half. That's good stuff. Let's scoot now. Let's go. We showed you Estrid, of course. Let's keep going. Idril over here, you can see we got not a starter piece. That's just a nice Doom piece. This is just stuff, just grind, you know, grind. Sorry if it seems like we didn't use, that's not our real gear. Here's the starter set. That's literally what I put on Vladov. That's what we ran on Guild Boss. Here was the fun ancient I got fairly early on, attack speed on a breastplate. And this one's like, it is what it is. You know, we got him really fast. You know, Vladov, we had the Soul Stone to make him A1. I was very lucky to get Vladov. Obviously, we had a nice chunk of luck in summons. Missed a couple key ones, but got a lot of good stuff. Hollow, we've got a fun build over here. I got this ancient, which had rage regen. The other stats, whatever. I mean, the attack bonus is really nice roll, but the rage regen attack speed enables me to get this really speedy high rage regen build. This one, just looking for attack bonus. It is what it is. Then attack bonus with some attack speed. We got attack speed with some rage regen, and then we got rage regen with some attack speed and attack bonus. You get the picture, right? For Hollow, we've got a plus 10 euphoric orb. This was one of the lucky drops I got on that crazy overnight AMR 18 spree. I think that's about it. The only other one to key in on would be Navros, who I just cycled into my guild boss run for like 2 seconds when I picked everyone else up so they wouldn't die, and he was like him and a soul. They were placeholders, and this would be the only other good DPS gear on the account. Lots of blue, you'll see, but this is just other stuff I 16'd. And don't be afraid if it's like even half decent like this, 16 it if it might help. Like I should say, obviously you don't want to waste your gold because it's very scarce at the beginning, but if you're too conservative, you will not progress because at some point you need your hero 60 and you need gear plus 16, especially right side stuff where you're getting these big bonus rolls, right? It's as simple as that. So that is going to be the gear. That is going to be my gearing. If we click through really fast, you know, 59% crit rate, that's obviously the worst of the bunch. This had a crit rate bangle, we're over 100%. This has 100%, 107, 93 plus the 5 from when I brought her A2. I put 3 soul stones into Estrid. Let me remind you guys, that's 98, 86 and a half, 108 and a half, but that's again a crit rate bangle. You can make it work. You can really just make it work. That's kind of where I want to leave it in terms of investigating my account. Like I said, hopefully I have a goal to make like maybe an hour long, I don't know, but just like maybe less, hopefully less, just stream highlights of the first clear of like all the 18s and all the 19s and then my guild boss. If you're interested in that, let me know in the comments. But I think let's finish up with kind of like the lessons and like what I think it took to succeed at I think a fairly high level, and maybe things you can draw from that to help yourself with your own account, because at the end of the day it's all about your account, right? This is like a very brief little show off recap. I know I've said awkward a lot, but awkward little thing. Basically, let's start with luck. There was no one could win this if they didn't pull a Dolores or something, right? And I'd really be interested. Let me know if you participate in the challenge and you're watching this. I think a lot of people that did participate probably did make it this late in the video. I want to know who got the farthest without Dolores. That's very interesting to me because it takes a lot, right? I mean, there's some huge swings and misses when it came to summons. No Baron, no Laurel, no Maul. Those all hurt, right? But we had some really nice hits. We were, you know, I planned it a bit, but that like with the 10x, the 15x rate ups to get 2 of the Tazira and Amani, the Micah epics, but we still had to get the other ones. That gave us Micah. She was huge. Getting Estrid, I can tell you full stop in terms of luck. If I never pulled Estrid, I was not in the top 5. Like she was, for given my specific account, maybe if I had like a Laurel or a Maul instead, sure, then I could have done it. But if you kept all these heroes exactly the same, took away Estrid, no chance at first place, no chance for my specific account. So that's like one pull that made it for me. That one lucky pull that enabled it. While considering the other bad luck, if some of that bad luck switched to good luck, then there were still possibilities. But you get what I'm trying to say, right? We were able to pull 4 copies of Idril. I never had to use a soul stone on her. It took a while. It was over weeks, but that was really, really nice. We pulled a copy of Wrath, which saved me 1 soul stone. That helps, right? Somehow we pulled 3 Raiden, 3 of an Epic Lord. We pulled 2 Isolde. I mean, this stuff is undeniably lucky, right? If you think you had the worst luck, let me know. I want to know who played the whole 30 days, the whole month, and had the worst luck. Because I mean, I part of me wishes I had worse luck just to see how much I could have really taken to the limit with more restraints. I do think I was fairly restrained, especially not having Laurel, but then not having Maul, and then for Gear 8-2 not having Baron. But as you can see, it's a nice full roster, and I think I tackled it pretty darn well. Next thing I was gonna say is situation, right? People are like, I don't know how you were able to do so well because you're having to make videos all the time, this, that, and the other. To me, that's baloney. I was able to, as like half of my work days, most days, especially at the beginning, stream this for my job. And also because of my situation, because I'm presenting to people as I'm doing this video right now, I was very focused. I wasn't like dilly-dallying. I wasn't like wasting stamina here or not doing things optimally, or at least not as I saw them to be optimally. Because of that, it was a really good situation, especially at the beginning, to play a lot and play in like a nice controlled, focused way, which I think a lot of people, yeah, they didn't have to stream, they didn't have to make videos, but they have real jobs too, they have real families. They might not have been able to find that time, or when they did find the time, stay as focused as I think I was and maybe other creators were. So I think that was another huge benefit to me. Now stuff specific to you guys, right? Planning stuff out, long-term strategy. A lot of people rushed out of the gate. I mean, at the beginning, at one time I was in 8th and then I was in 12th. I think at one time I might have even been 20th over that first week. I wasn't pushing always at the pace, especially in certain content, as other creators and certainly other viewers. I had the vision that, hey, I'm stockpiling stamina. As long as I'm staying under the stamina cap, which embarrassingly I am not under now, I am at efficiency. And as long as I'm at efficiency, and as long as I get enough of the lucky summons, and as long as I do the things right and I grind when I think I need to, I can make it to the finish line. This was not a 3-day challenge who's in the lead after 3 days or a week. It was win it in 30 days. The results locked at the end of day 30. And I always had that in mind. You can bring that to your own account with or without a challenge. As long as you're staying efficient, as long as you're stockpiling, as long as you think you're making the right decisions along the way, you can follow some of the old streams for that. Or I've got a lot of content on progression. I'll have a lot more beginner style content coming out in the near future. Near might be a liberal term there. In the future for sure. I think you can stay on track and you don't need to feel like you're falling behind. It's not a race, even when you technically have a race, if it's that long. You don't have, the race doesn't really start as long as you're staying efficient and staying optimal, staying min-max, until you have to kick it into gear and start racing. And I think it really did pay off for me. Finally, you have to know how to beat these stages. Without a doubt, I'm sure there are accounts that got top 15 that like couldn't beat 219, and I figured out a way to do it. Not that I'm so great, but I've done over 500 Gear Raid 2 takeovers, right? I've probably run, if you count each restart, I've probably run tens of thousands of Gear Raid 2 instances in my life, right? And that was just an advantage I have as a creator and someone who's been obsessed with this game and played a lot. And that could be kind of same with Guild Boss, and that was the tiebreaker in the end. I'm sure these viewers are awesome at Guild Boss, right? They were clearly awesome at the whole game, but I've been paid to play Guild Boss for over a year now, right? If you put that in perspective, it's something that helped a lot. So obviously you guys, unless you're a content creator or something, that might not be your path, but what you can do, there are a lot of great content creators outside of myself as well that have content on how to beat these things. Don't be afraid unless you want to figure out yourself, which like as someone that does that themselves, I totally get. But if you don't have that pride thing or that competitive thing or just that gaming kind of thing in you, watch a guide. You know, watch a Ronaldo, right? Watch a Destin, watch one of my videos, whatever you want. Ivy's got great beginner guides. Watch whatever you want, and it will help because you can learn from hours and tens of hours and hundreds of hours and maybe thousands of hours of experience in just a handful of minutes or an hour, right? So that's kind of how I'd wrap it up. Again, my final apology, I guess, that I won. I think it's a suboptimal outcome. I think if I got like third, that would have been pretty badass. It's cool that I was the top creator. That I like. But it would have been nice to have this video be about a viewer and not me. But good transition. Tomorrow, the stream at 3 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. UTC. That stream is not about me for 1 second. It is all about the big top 4 viewers that also, it literally tied me. I only won on the Guild Boss tiebreaker. So please make it to that, guys. Celebrate Andrew and Bingo and Hantukes and Danny, because like we all tied for first, let's be honest. And we are doing a big fundraiser, and charity is important. Charity is a good thing. So I would love for people to participate in that. You don't even have to watch the stream. We said there was going to be a big prize pool. A lot of people have pledged an amount towards this pool that's going to go towards the charity, towards the Lung Cancer Research Foundation. The more the better. We've had some really successful charity streams in the past. I would love to keep that going. So for the giveaway, please leave your UID in the comments and answer the question, what is a challenge idea you would like to see next? We already did epics. We did a mini version of rares last fall. Do you have any other ideas, any other things you want to see, something that you think would be fun? Let me know in the comments. Be sure to leave your UID and we'll pick 20 winners getting 100 diamonds each. Also, let me know if you have an idea on how to continue these epic accounts. I have an idea for month 2 of the challenge. I posted about it on my Discord, the Fast and the Fastidious. You can find that link in the description. Please let me know. Reach out to me in any way. I'm really interested. I floated some things. I want your input. Guys, I've been Fastidious. Thank you so much for watching. I know it was a longer video. I hope you made it to the end. If you did, you can let me know in the comments. Thank you. Subscribe, notification bell, comments, share with your mother, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.